Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I'm Patrick Daugherty, joined by Denny Carter. The Super Bowl is over. The combine is nigh. Free agency is nigh. The draft is nigh. Everything is nigh. The rest of your life is nigh. It all begins today. Actually, it'll start tomorrow after you procrastinate. But it can begin any day you want it to. The future is now for Tyreek Hill. He's been released by the Miami Dolphins, free agent for the first time in his career. Denny and I will talk about where he's been, where he might be going. We know where new Seahawks offensive coordinator Brian Fleury has been. San Francisco. We don't really know what he did there. He was the tight ends coach. Yep. He was the run game coordinator. He's never called plays before because he's on Kyle Shanahan's staff, but he'll be doing so in Seattle. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Matt Nagy, one of many cooks in the Giants' kitchen, if he'll be good for Jaxson Dart. Yep. The latest on Breece Hall, a player who just so badly needs a divorce from his team. Ugh. But the early scuttlebutt is that he could be franchise tagged. Seems like an unbelievably bad idea by an unbelievably bad organization, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that. James Conner could become a free agent. Mike Evans probably going to become a free agent. Many are talking, Denny, about the McLaurin in Washington.
That's all. I live in the area. That's all anyone. I'm at the grocery store. Have you heard about the McLaurin? David Blau is all anyone is talking about. It's crazy.
It is. So David Blau, who you may or may not know, is now the play caller for the Washington Commanders. So the offense will be built around Terry McLaurin. The McLaurin never been more real. If we have time, we'll yet again talk about, so how bad are things for Travis Hunter? This is something we now do every show. Denny, things are bad and getting worse for Travis Hunter. Spatial awareness is bad and getting worse.
It is.
The denizens of the United States. So Denny's over the age of 40. I turned 40 this year. That means the old man ranting it's already well begun. But it's going to really be beginning in earnest, really accelerating, achieving like takeoff velocity for Denny and I the next few years. In the city of San Francisco for Super Bowl LX, Denny and I couldn't help but notice that what I would say is like the New York subway mentality or just like New York sidewalk mentality has like gone nationwide where like no one respects your space. No one makes eye contact ever. No, there's no like common courtesy. No, like people, you're going to bump into people. Like that's just part of like moving around crowded areas, big cities, even like parking lots in the Midwest. And it's like no one ever saying like, I'm sorry or anything. So we were talking about this in San Francisco. You took it to social media. Yeah. It is blown up. People are agreeing with you, but just tell us. I've been rambling here a little too much. Tell us about your thoughts on spatial awareness and the lack thereof in the United States.
I think that it's a problem, and I would say that probably our collective phone addiction has to do with it. It's not that people are walking around on their phones all the time. I mean, although that does happen. But what I'm noticing,
even I do. The second I'm in the city, I'm like, well, obviously I got to be on my phone while I'm crossing the street.
No, listen, I'm not innocent in any of this, by the way. But I've seen it. You've seen it. I posted to Blue Sky. Lots and lots of folks have seen the same thing, and it's this idea that no one and nothing else exists outside of the 6 inches in front of your face. And so you're walking down the sidewalk, and I feel like at some point during my lifetime, I'm 42.
He admitted.
42 going on 62. And I feel like at some point in my lifetime, when you walk down the sidewalk and there's another person coming, you decided I'm going to go this way and you're going to go this way. Yes. And now I feel like that social contract or agreement, that unspoken thing, it's gone.
Been blown to smithereens.
The person is going to walk right at you, and it's on you. You got to move, or you got to set your feet and take the charge. Those are the two choices you have. And it's just so prevalent. People talked about Costco, and I've been to Costco maybe 3 times in my life, and it was the worst 3 experiences I've ever had. I mean, it is a state of nature. No one cares about you. No one cares about anybody else. It's actually pretty disturbing, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't see a single person change course in the city of San Francisco when we were there for the quote unquote big game. They just were barreling down the sidewalk. This was like everyone. This was like random citizens. It was police officers. It was like delivery drivers. It was like families. Like just, I was here. This is, I believe, the right side of the sidewalk. I believe we're a nation of customs and laws.
Just
and
scoot.
You walk on the right. And apparently in England, you walk on the left, which was creating all kinds of confusion.
Well, can't go there.
No one would move. I too have noticed, by the way.
Yeah.
First off, I'm so Midwestern, and that someone bumps into me, I go, I'm sorry. Like I just
that is so.
I'm sorry. Like we're both sorry for this interaction. And what I've noticed lately is people being in the wrong continually. Me saying like I'm like sorry about that or whatever, and they just like don't say anything. They don't respond. They don't even look at me. And in my head, I'm like, well, first off, this is actually your fault.
I know.
I was just extending you a common courtesy, like giving you a chance to say you're sorry.
Is there anything you want to say to me?
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say to me? And I'll be honest, this has led to a very I'm turning 40 habit of like me walking away and then muttering like freaking jerk.
But you got to keep it. You got to keep it inside. You got to let it fester.
Don't worry. It's gonna burn to a boil soon.
Yeah. One last thing. I got hit with a basketball the other day in the head by a literal a fastball. Like someone threw a fastball. It was a bad fastball. It was an inaccurate one. It hit me in the head. I literally dropped to my knees because I was like I felt like I had no idea what was going on. Like my brain was rattled. I felt like maybe I had a concussion. I couldn't hear out of my right ear.
You probably did.
I had to get up and I had to walk over to the teen who did this. And I had to say, excuse me, son. Traditionally you apologize when you hit someone in the head. Oh no, I'm my bad. Okay. Well, that'll do. I'm just telling you, like that's how it usually goes. So we're teaching, we're learning.
I didn't realize he hit you with a my bad. That's actually
he said my bad. Of course, he was looking at the floor. Can't.
Okay. No. Oh yeah, it goes without saying. There's no way he would ever make eye contact with you there. Oh man, I had a final thought on this, but it's probably good to just end this now. Yeah. Man, what was my final thought? It doesn't matter. I guess we got to get to our first thoughts on Tyreek Hill, Denny. He's been released after 4 seasons. The cap savings are bountiful. They're beautiful. The Dolphins are like, what are we going to do with all this money?
Yeah.
We have no idea. We got so much money we didn't have before. Sure, in real dollar terms, this is totally catastrophic. Not quite as catastrophic as cutting Tua Tagovailoa will be. But he's gone. 4 pretty productive years in Miami. Less so as they went. Or kind of a forgotten part of the Tyreek Hill saga is that 2024, he was not good. Appeared in all 17 games. Did not reach 1,000 yards. The efficiency cratered. The efficiency rebounded a little bit last year before his knee/leg injury. Nowhere near the heights of his prime, though. Just what do we say about the Dolphins cutting loose Tyreek Hill? Where has he been? Where is he going? We'll talk in a minute about where we might like to see him end up.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget how dominant he was for a time in Miami. Of course, we know he was dominant with the Chiefs before this, but from the start of 2022 to the end of 2023, Tyreek Hill led the league in receiving yards with 3,509 receiving yards per game at 106.3. Wow. He was second in receptions over that span, 238. He was third in receiving touchdowns with 20. With that said, how does a player of his age come back from an injury we all saw? I believe it was on Monday Night Football. And was absolutely.
Some of us missed it, and then I'll be honest, we rewound to see it.
And I think some of us texted other people and said, "Do you have the replay?"
God, and then some of us wished we didn't.
Yeah, it was bad. And I've seen, look, the online doctors take it with a grain of salt, but the consensus is that
online doctors are seeing some pretty crazy stuff on fantasy football Twitter.
Yeah. So big grain, huge, large grain. But, the expectation is that it's going to be a while before he's 100%. I really think, with the experiences we've had with other severe injuries, I'm thinking like Tony Pollard, who suffered that horrible broken leg at the end of that one season. I'm not expecting Tyreek Hill to be fully back this coming year. Maybe he won't even play. I don't know if that's in the range.
There's a chance Tyreek Hill never plays again.
Right.
Actually a range of outcomes where I'm sure he will attempt to play, but along the lines of what you're saying, truly no guarantee he's back for 2026. And it could be a thing where like he gets signed for 2027, but it's clear in camp. He just doesn't have it anymore. And there's a non-0% chance Tyreek Hill has played his final NFL snap, did he?
Yeah, and so even if he does come back, how reduced will he be? Will he be a part-time player? Will he be just a guy who's like, catching stuff around the line of scrimmage and doesn't have that downfield speed that made him such a difference maker over the season? So I'm highly skeptical of, like, I don't know how to deal with him in best ball. I feel like I feel like maybe just take a flyer on him, but you can't expect anything really this year.
So you would draft him in best ball. Do you know anything about where he's going in best ball?
I would guess very late is my guess. And if he's not going very late, then I have no interest.
Put a percent chance on what you think he suits up for week 1 is.
I don't know, 20.
I might just go 0, to be honest. The 0% chance we see him out there for week 1, which to me then means just stay away in best ball. I will say we'll get an early indication of his week 1 health, where if he is signed the first week of free agency, that will mean a non-0% chance he plays week 1. Probably a pretty good chance he only misses 4 to 6 games and then is back. If he's not signed in the opening 2 or 3 days of free agency, though, that would be about as bearish of an indicator. Because even considering his age, even considering the way he was slowing down, like, this is someone teams will want to take a flyer on. If they have a reasonable expectation he'll be healthy before Halloween. It must be said too, though, just he's the kind of guy, not that any NFL player can afford this kind of injury, but someone whose entire game was predicated on being one of the fastest players of the modern era stands to reason will be hurt even more by like a traumatic orthopedic injury than like your average replacement level player. And it was already diminished. This could be just truly never even close to the same.
Yeah. So, when you consider like where he could go in free agency, I kind of think it doesn't really matter because that's not going to be a factor. I was
going to say, like, it was going to be a lot of the same teams will probably say for Mike Evans later.
Yeah.
Where like he's only going to go to like big name contending teams.
You would think,
like, the Patriots, the Bills. Many people are already doing the Chiefs thing.
The Chiefs.
He's the most Ravens retread ever.
Yeah,
like, basically every Tyreek Hill archetype ends up on the Ravens at some point.
That's right. Yeah, right. An old malcontent. You said it. Yeah, you take them on. I had some teams here. Obviously, I listed the Chiefs. The Bills. The Bills just desperately need to get like a real receiver. The Raiders have $77 million in cap space. It's the third most in the NFL. They seem like the kind of team that would be dumb enough to do this. And the Chargers, $78 million in cap space as the second most. So hey, they could bring him back. They could get him back with his buddy Mike McDaniel, who he loves so much.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh,
that would really work out.
Tennessee Titans lead in cap space, by the way. If Daniel Snyder still controlled the purse strings in DC, he would be a Washington Commander. Even with Debo, like, to make this even older. I think Debo's actually a free agent, but let's make this receiver core even older. But it had been gnawing at me. But the entire time we were talking about Tyreek, I wasn't even thinking about Tyreek Hill. I was trying to think of the final joke I wanted for our opening segment. And just you easily gamed the concussion evaluation. Denny clearly concussed, but he shakes off the independent neurologist or whatever, shakes off all the coaches and goes, "Where's the kid? Where's the kid who hit me with the ball?"
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a joke. Actually, a mom came over to check on me.
Really?
Because she wanted to see if I was all right. She gave me smelling salts, which I thought was weird.
Are you getting, by the way, as you get older, sorry if this is too absurd of a question, more or less scared of teens?
I'm so scared. So are you kidding me? I'm terrified. Yeah. Not even close.
I think there's a period. Yeah, most of your 20s, you're not scared of teens because you were just a teen.
Yeah. You remember.
Like, whatever.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah. Then in your 30s, it starts to become kind of foreign and alien. Like, I'm scared of these people. But now I'm getting towards the age again where I'm not scared of them again.
Oh, okay.
I think this moment will be coming for you soon.
I'm scared they hit you in the head with the basketball. Yeah, wow, don't apologize.
Yeah, there's striking people with basketball. It's very shocking. Not apologizing, quite a scandal. First off, do you know who I am? You ever heard of CD Carter, bud? You ever heard of me? You ever heard of Blue Sky? Check it out.
Ever heard of Rotoworld football show?
Yeah, ever heard of that?
Ever heard of fantasy football? Okay, we'll break it down even further. Ever heard of football?
I know Matthew Berry.
That's right.
Do you? What?
Matthew Berry's looking me in the eye.
I know.
How about you?
Yeah.
No?
I know who Matthew Berry is. Like that leads to a bonding moment between you two. So we know who Matthew Berry is. We did not know who Brian Fleury was.
No,
it wasn't even on our radar at all. He's been hired as the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. He's been on Kyle Shanahan's staff in San Francisco since 2019. He was a quality control coach on defense. Then he was a quality control coach on offense. And he became tight ends coach. Then he became run game coordinator. Obviously never approached calling plays. Kyle Shanahan calls his own plays. Brian Fleury wasn't even the offensive coordinator. And he's enough of an unknown commodity. This has maybe been updated by now. Wikipedia could not nail down his birth year.
Wow.
It said either 1979 or 1980.
Really?
So this is how little the world knows about Brian Fleury. But what we do know, he's coming from the right coaching tree. Kyle Shanahan, like Sean McVay, kind of just turns out like one winner after another when it comes to assistant coaches. And I would say just by the sheer virtue of getting hired by Mike Macdonald is a bullish indicator. I really liked Mike Macdonald in that Ryan Grubb is probably a good offensive coordinator, could probably have success calling plays in the NFL is my guess. But he didn't have the success with Mike Macdonald. He didn't do what Mike Macdonald wanted on offense. So very decisively after 1 year, fires Ryan Grubb, goes and finds the guy in Klint Kubiak who calls the kind of offense he wants. I like that Mike Macdonald knows what he wants on offense. He's earned the benefit of the doubt with these assistant hires. So with that very long preamble, what do you make of Brian Fleury, 49ers tight ends coach, becoming the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator and offensive play caller?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've ever heard of him. I will sit here and tell you that I was pretty convinced that Mike Macdonald was going to promote from within. That was reportedly the plan. I think Macdonald actually confirmed that report shortly after the Super Bowl, saying we're going to look at our current offensive staff
and they're all bad
to replace Klint. And my thought would be, with Macdonald's track record being very good, is that Fleury stood out in a way that made him take notice, because that was not the plan. Was not to go get a guy who met Kyle Shanahan once. It was
that's true.
It was to get a guy who had worked under Klint Kubiak, knew his system, had been there for 2025, obviously very successful year offensively, and keep that going. So my thought would be this is probably good. And Macdonald knows what he's doing. I trust him.
He won a Super Bowl his second year on the job after going 10-7 with not a great roster in 2024. It was an okay roster, obviously. But Mike Macdonald has made two really decisive decisions. He fired Ryan Grubb and he parted ways with Geno Smith. He was proven as right as anyone has ever been proven in those two decisions. So that really does earn you a lot of benefit of the doubt. I will say, though, does Sam Darnold still maintain benefit of the doubt, where he basically had a perfect run out in 2025. Yeah. They stayed healthy, thin receiver core, but a very top-heavy receiver core. That stayed healthy. Obviously, the play calling, the game planning was essentially perfect from Klint Kubiak. And now, too, like a guy in Sam Darnold who every year he is a different coach. Every year he's a different team. Every year he's a different play caller. Now he's yet another new play caller, just beyond like what are going to be pretty standard, pretty justified regression concerns with Sam Darnold. After his 2025, how do we feel about him now having to adjust to yet another new voice? Maybe not a new system, but not the exact same system. Like you said, where it seemed like initially they wanted to just run back the same system.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about a new play caller, you talk about like sequencing of plays, and that's what got the Eagles in trouble this past year. Was not the kind of plays they were calling, but the sequencing of them. That was a big problem, and I think even like casual observers noticed that. So if that's not right, if that's off, then Darnold might be in a bad spot. But I think what we've seen over the past two seasons in Minnesota and Seattle with Darnold is this: if you give him neutral and positive game script, he can cook. If you make it so that the defense is on their heels at least a little bit, preferably a lot, he can do the things that a good starting quarterback can do, which is make intermediate throws accurately, the occasional downfield shot, doesn't make horrible mistakes. Usually, I know his turnover rate was pretty high this year. That mostly came, honestly, in negative game script. If you look into when those mistakes happen, the fumbles, the interceptions. So if that defense remains elite, I think Darnold can remain a good starter. I've given up on the idea that Darnold is just set for a collapse. I've accepted that he's actually pretty good.
And it's just the classic. I do not like this phrase. I don't like being like a Malcolm Gladwell bro or whatever. I don't remember if he coined this or not, but it appears Sam Darnold's awful 2-game finish to 2024 was just a classic fooled by randomness. Like we thought, we discovered a pattern. The pattern is back. Says no, it's just his 2 worst games came at the most inopportune moment of the year, but it was not an indication that he had become bad again or was going back to the old Sam. And man, the Vikings are going to be. The Vikings were fooled by this randomness. That's for sure.
Yes. Man. So for as successful as McDonald was in deciding the direction of his offense, the Vikings were equally and opposite unsuccessful, right? They paid the price. You know, they fired the GM, they fired other people from the front office, and it was all based on saying, okay, Darnold had 2 bad games, so we cannot go forward with him.
And with Darnold too, it's just. It's a lot of people have moved on, to their credit, but we're to the classic point. Like, yeah, he does some things poorly. Like, it's well beyond time to stop focusing on those. And he's got some very obvious weaknesses. First off, every quarterback has weaknesses. Sam's are a little more obvious and vivid than some quarterbacks' weaknesses, but he's proven as thoroughly as you can that his strengths far outweigh his weaknesses. And like the tenor of him as on him as a player just needs to change. Even though, again, as I kept reminding in the run up to Super Bowl, he still led the league in turnovers. But as I've said many times, the best is not even necessarily the correct number of turnovers is not 0.
No.
And so a lot of his are like focused turnovers. Like
they are
expanding. They're not like, it's not because he's like taking cool downfield shots. It's because he has no idea. Like, oh, Myles Garrett's there.
Yeah. His awareness doesn't seem great. His spatial awareness, unfortunately. Having JSN helps. I'll say that's my final point here.
It does help a lot.
Throw it to JSN.
Man, one of the most haunting counterfactuals in recent NFL history is this Vikings fiasco. Man, it could be like a genuine franchise changer.
It already is.
Yeah, it's true. It already is.
I mean, now they're committed to McCarthy.
No, they're not.
They have
committed to McCarthy.
He's going to start. Every game next year if he's healthy.
No. For some reason, Kevin O'Connell still has a phone book, and he's got the phone book out, and he's going to the yellow pages. If anyone remembers this, where the businesses are, and there's a business that helps you find deluxe versions of Carson Wentz. That's all he's trying to do. This is the worst joke I've ever made, but he's going to sign 2 Carson Wentz types. He's not going to just sign 1. He's not letting what happened last year happen again. And
so Jacoby Brissett.
Wow. Super Bowl.
I mean, at least the NFC title game.
Super Bowl, at least the NFC title game. I will say 0% chance JJ McCarthy starts week 1.
Really?
0.
Oh, man. Okay.
0. 0.0.
I will say I have an article up on the site if folks want to check it out on kind of luck variance for quarterbacks in 2025. And I truly hate to say this. Okay?
Please stop. We'll be right back. It's a winner.
JJ McCarthy was unlucky. I hate to say it.
I really should have just started reading the promo for you.
You should have. You should have saved me from myself.
It's a good time to read that promo and take a short break. We'll be right back after this. It's a Winter Olympics you will never forget from beautiful northern Italy. Watch the world's biggest stars on the biggest stage in prime time, only on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Prime time in Milan, of course. What would you call a greatest hits of the day? We'd be remiss if we didn't mention it's on live all day on NBC, on USA Network, on Peacock. I've had it on 24 hours a day. Even the sports I don't understand. My kids seeing the bobsled and saying that was the scariest thing they've ever seen in their life. They were somehow more scared of the bobsled than the skeleton.
Oh, really?
The idea of like getting in the tube, I think, disturbed them.
The bobsled thing is harrowing. I actually thought the other day, I was like, if I tried this once, I wouldn't make it.
Well, did you see? I was not asked to do this promotion. Truly not. SNL's Colin Jost got in a bobsled.
Really?
And
I didn't see that.
He says the scariest thing he's ever done in his life. They have him mic'd up, obviously. He's like genuinely terrified.
I can't even imagine. I mean, the speed is insane.
Yeah, it's like going like a silver bullet. I would absolutely not do it. Something else I would absolutely not do is hire Matt Nagy as my offensive coordinator. I would also not hire Greg Roman to work with him and Brian Callahan to work with him. They're getting some band back together. I'm not really sure what band this was. They're getting back Lifehouse. They're getting Lifehouse back together.
Wow, Lifehouse. The Zoomers have no idea.
Nor should they. Please don't Google.
Don't have any idea.
Yeah, don't. No, they're not inappropriate. Just don't Google them. Like, don't give them search results. They don't deserve that. Maybe the Lost Pete Townsend Project Lifehouse does. But Matt Nagy with Jaxson Dart. Albert Breer, Sports Illustrated's, thinks Matt Nagy will be good for Jaxson Dart. Denny was scrounging for content Tuesday morning. He found this. He wrote it up on the website. And a lot of times you do this either because you want to bury said viewpoint, or it's because you read it and you start secretly agreeing with it. What is it here with Albert Breer and Matt Nagy? Is this you kind of like testing the waters on Matt Nagy did nothing wrong?
No. You're misreading my situation here, my intent. It's Tuesday, February 17th, and the people need their content. And some content out there is better than others. And Albert Breer talking about a new offensive coordinator hire, that's, you know what? That might not make it in October, but right now it makes it as a blurb. So, I don't agree with it at all.
Yeah, right. This is like you're Trojan horsing. You're trying, and dude, this is how you would do it too. At the beginning, you would pretend you didn't agree. Okay. And then next week, who's the ESPN Giants reporter? Jordan Renan has something on it, and you're like, I'm just posting it. I can't help what the reporters put out there.
You are reading way too much into this.
I can't help it. Pat Leonard likes it too. I'm just all right. What's wrong with posting a blurb?
So here's what Breer said. Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated. He said, "Quote: When I think of Nagy with Jaxson Dart, I think of the spectacular season the new OC helped Alex Smith put together in 2017, with so many spread offense elements baked into, not just to maximize Smith, but to develop Patrick Mahomes." That to me didn't pass any muster. You're talking about a decade ago, basically. You're
also talking about it's Andy Reid.
You're also talking about spread offenses, brother. It's 2026. There ain't no spread offenses anymore. This is a run first, defense first league, right? You're trying to gain 3 yards of play. You're trying to stop the other.
Might be overstating it a little bit, but
you're using 2 to 5 tight ends per play.
That's it.
I mean, this whole spread out. What are you talking about? No, this is a disaster if they're going to do the spread out thing. The league has changed dramatically since Matt Nagy helped piece together a good season for Alex Smith. Give me a break with this.
I will say, by the time you realize the league has changed, the general you, not the Denny Carter you,
yeah, right.
Usually means the next adjustment is here. Like, wouldn't be shocked if spreading it out was back in 2026.
Really? I think we're still.
By the time we know about 3 tight ends, it's already too late.
That's actually really funny. Yeah, that it might be true.
But yeah,
by the time the fantasy and bio guys know about 3 tight ends, 3 tight ends is out.
I know it's totally over. The Dart 3 cooks in the kitchen and they're all bad. Like,
I know,
at least all recently, but none of them had success of late. I mean, Matt Nagy was not so soft. I would say soft fired from the Chiefs. It was hard fired. Like, they did not want him back. They basically put him on a raft. I'm like, I'm sure. I swear I saw an island over there. Like,
you know other people in the league, right, man?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is. And by the way, in my blurb, I added at the end, and totally without emotion, I'm just stating facts. Kansas City, during Matt Nagy's time as offensive coordinator, ranked 10th in offensive success rate and EPA per play. 10th. That's horrible. That's abysmal for a Patrick Mahomes-led offense.
Speaking of an island over there, by the way, have you seen the workplace comedy, Send Help?
No.
The new Sam Raimi film.
Oh,
The Evil Dead and Army of Darkness.
Comedy.
Yeah, it actually is kind of a dark comedy.
Is it really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw it.
I was scared by the trailer.
It's about not liking your coworker and turning the tables on them. So
interesting.
If we ever ended up on an island, would you try to poison me?
Only if you told me JJ McCarthy wasn't going to start.
The first day we would be fighting. Instead of like trying to set up a camp, we'd be like, stop. Stop.
Speaking of McCarthy, I'm sorry, I know we're talking about Jaxson Dart, but we have a blurb up from a few minutes ago. The Athletic reports that the Vikings, quote, removed most of their over-the-middle passing concepts throughout the season to keep McCarthy's line of sight simple. So they absolutely just tore down the Kevin O'Connell system because this kid couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, he will not be starting. He honestly, they might not Richardson this. They might just cut him. But you heard it here first.
Ooh.
I've pretty rarely I've seen a team as unhappy with a young quarterback as the Vikings like clearly are on JJ McCarthy. Like, I don't think they're into this second chance for JJ McCarthy. Yeah. We shall see though. Speaking of second chances, Breece Hall does not want one with the New York Jets. Like a lot of cryptic posting, I feel like over the past year or two. I really also like the same thing meant actually not so cryptic. Basically, can't wait till I get out of here. And I forget who had the report, Denny, but they're expected to franchise tag him.
Yeah.
Just why? This seems mutually unbeneficial. Like, he's not helping them in 2026. He is not being helped by being on this talent bereft New York Jets team. It just seems like, I guess they have to spend money on something. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of money to spend, but the Jets are not a team that need to be spending on Breece Hall, even via a franchise tag. They don't need to be paying a top 5 salary to running back. It just hasn't worked either. Like this is a classic need a change of scenery. Both sides need a fresh start. Do you agree with my pessimism on a potential Breece Hall return to the New York Jets?
There was a lot to the report. It came from Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic. And here were my main takeaways. The fact that they are considering tagging Breece Hall doesn't mean that they expect him to play for them, because it could be a tag and trade.
Oh yeah, the trade market. It's just going to be like you've never seen a trade market this sick, bro. Like people are gonna be lining up for a top 5 paid Breece Hall. 1 year, you've never seen a trade market this sick, bro.
All right, let me play devil's advocate here and remind you that the league is now run first, defense first, and so we have 2 straight run heavy teams that have won the Super Bowl, and with Ken Walker, unfortunately for you and Kyle, being the MVP of the Super Bowl.
That one hurt.
And Saquon Barkley being good last year, 2 years ago,
which you weren't even upset about.
I know, no, that was a tough one for me, but yeah. So this is the trend, and people are going to say, well, we need a lead back, we need a true elite back, right? Breece Hall maybe checks those boxes. Maybe we'll see. We could see. We'll spend some money and we'll see. Who knows? Same with Ken Walker. This idea, I think that people think, well, he's gonna stick in Seattle. I think somebody's gonna offer him an unbelievable contract after that postseason run he had. So Breece Hall, I think, will be sought after.
If the Seahawks don't tag Kenneth Walker, I do think Kenneth Walker is gone, despite what appeared to be a very earnest feeling that he wants to remain in Seattle. I don't know if you saw him at their Super Bowl parade, but people say stuff like this all the time at the parade, but Kenneth Walker seemed to like really, really want to be back with the Seahawks. Yeah. But if he's not franchise tagged, he's going to get an offer that he just cannot turn down, I feel like.
But that doesn't seem to be the sense for the Seahawks, according to a report. It may have been Breer, actually. But that Ken Walker, that the Seahawks are fine. Look, you go ahead. See if anybody wants you, Ken. Nobody.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Where I don't think the feeling is mutual. Where Seattle, I think, kind of feels like, whoa, that was awesome. Like, we didn't trust Kenneth Walker all year, and then he was amazing in the 2 biggest games of the year. That's cool. But then they're doing the thing that good franchises don't do, which is hitting on 17. Like, they didn't change their evaluation of this player based on 2 games. And you could argue with it that they were wrong. The Seahawks played 20 games. For 18 of those games, they did not want to trust Kenneth Walker as anything other than maybe a 1A back, where it's really more of just a co-1A back. Zach Charbonnet, where I don't think the Seahawks are going to change, their internal evaluation of Kenneth Walker. I think he has a pretty good chance of being gone. Just Breece Hall. Even in a league where running backs are being more valued right now, I just cannot see someone trading draft capital for Breece Hall, and it strikes me as a very fanciful idea.
So, well, the Chiefs, I think, were willing to part with a 4th rounder last year.
They should also do that in this scenario.
Yeah,
although they're in cap, HE double hockey sticks.
Family show. But there was also Rosenblatt said, Frank Reich, who is unbelievably the offensive coordinator.
Come on, man. He should not even show up, Aaron Glenn. Like, he should just not show up.
And
what is the point?
So Rosenblatt said that Reich, runs a zone heavy run system, and Breece Hall, I did look into the numbers. Breece Hall is actually pretty good in zone concepts, so maybe that's a fit. Who knows?
We'll see. Breece Hall, a guy we'll be talking about a lot. We'll be talking about James Conner a lot if he gets cut. A guy of the Cardinals franchise seems to really value. They really value his tough running. They really, really value his leadership. A guy who had a very lengthy injury history, had actually stayed healthy for a while. That was not the case in 2025. Ended up back on the shelf. A team that, talk about a rebuilding team. The Cardinals are just starting over. James Conner is being talked up as a potential salary cap casualty, Denny.
Mm-hmm.
Anything left in the tank for a guy, he's going to go down as one of the more unheralded players of this generation.
Yeah.
Anything left in the tank for James Conner?
I wouldn't think so. But he's battled through a lot, in his career. I mean, the guy overcame a cancer diagnosis and cancer treatment, and played really well, like, directly after that. So I hate to doubt that kind of guy, but he's ankle season
but to
ending.
Immediately doubt him.
Yes, that's right. And season ending ankle injury, requires surgery. It seems like I was on the severe side. He'll land somewhere. He definitely will land somewhere. Do I think that he's going to be a 20 touch guy? No, not even close. But coaches really love him. They love him. Coaches really love him. They value the leadership aspect, the veteran stuff. He's a pretty good blocker, and they love that. They love when veterans can block. So, so maybe I'm not writing him off completely, but man, it's an uphill climb for a guy of his profile at this stage of his career.
Turning 31, and an injury. Say what you will about the standard high ankle sprain, it doesn't normally cost you 14 games. He missed 14 games last season. He needed surgery. It wasn't a high ankle sprain, but just saying, usually the worst case scenario usually the worst case outcome with an ankle does not involve missing 14 games. And with his age and injury history, beyond that, the injury history, I'm not including his illness, of course. He's had a lot of other injuries. He's missed 2 or 3 games almost every year. He's a player. Even if they would like his leadership, he's going to be more valuable to another team than Arizona. They probably just need to cut him loose and move on. We need to cut this topic loose and move on. We'll be right back after this. A different way to consume the Winter Olympics after prime time on NBC and Peacock. 2 Guys, 5 Rings is the show for you. Bowen Yang of Saturday Night Live and Wicked and Matt Rogers of Palm Royale and No Good Deed have you covered. Their 15-episode podcast series takes you on a journey of Italian culture, what happens inside the Olympic Village in Milan Cortina, and much, much more. Download and subscribe wherever you get your shows. How would we do in the Olympic Village, you think? Can you guys keep it down?
Yeah.
I know, I'm staying up a lot later than I normally do. So I'm cool with you staying up a little late, but can you guys please keep it down?
Aren't you elite athletes? Don't you need 12 hours of sleep a night? Isn't that your thing?
Yeah, I bet the Olympic Village. Can you the Olympic Village in 1980 Lake Placid? Oh, I'd be like, wow, yeah. Don't let my kids read that.
No,
the Olympic Village in 2026 is probably one person smuggled in 1 non-alcoholic beer,
right,
and the whole team split it.
Yeah, right. Azima.
Yeah.
Right. In 1980, they went through 1,200 Budweisers.
And then Hayden? What was the classic? I had learned of an elite figure skater from that Olympics this year, and then he went out the next day and won 3 golds.
Yeah.
Did you know? I saw this. I was seeing highlights of some elite male not figure skater, speed skater from 1980 in Lake Placid, an American. And they did it outdoors. The whole speed skating thing was outdoors.
Wow.
Pretty honestly amazing. But
that is.
I think the swimming is going to be semi outdoors in 2028, by the way, at SoFi Stadium. Yes.
Oh man, get a dome. Gotta get it. We gotta get a skiing dome. This is what we need.
The Commanders might be getting a dome. They're trying, and that might be. I think they are getting.
They are.
And they want the McLaurin to be continuing into their new stadium era. So, Denny, the McLaurin is beginning. Commanders OC David Blau, new OC, it must be said the offense will be, quote, built around getting Terry McLaurin 10 targets a game. So, first off, fell for it again award. I feel like every new Commanders figure, new Commanders media member, like, I'm going to be the guy to finally make Terry McLaurin a true wide receiver. It's going to be me. 13 touchdowns in 2024, regressed to 3 in 10 games this year, on the wrong side of 30. He's always been miscast as a true wide receiver 1. This is an old team right now. It's a depleted team right now. Deebo Samuel headed to free agency. How realistic to you is the concept of McLaurin for 2026 in Washington, D.C.?
It's somewhat believable if they really do jam him the ball. He's never been like a great target commander. Last year, he was targeted on 24% of his routes. That's across all games with Mariota and Josh Johnson and Jaden Daniels, of course. So it's unclear about how Jaden Daniels would have treated him, although he did target him at a good rate in 2024. We knew the regression was coming after the absurd number of touchdowns, the absurd touchdown rate in 2024. That hit hard, along with the injury stuff, along with him trying to play through the injury and then re-injuring himself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that saga. Where it's like, dude, just get the what is the dude? Just get the sports hernia surgery.
I mean, he kept asking Chat GPT, hey, can you please tell me that I can play on this thing?
Yeah, Chat, what's an alternative to sports hernia surgery? Oh, you've got this, Terry. You don't need the surgery.
Right. Grok, is this true?
Yeah, Gork, is this true? Sorry, that's my bit.
Yeah, no, I think he's not a wide receiver 1 in the traditional sense, but he is in Washington, because there's nobody else right now unless they go out and make a signing. The thing is this: having Jaden Daniels means that you're going to be, I don't know, in the bottom 10 in pass attempts every year because of the rushing attempts for Jaden Daniels that subtract from the pass volume, the general run heaviness of the Washington offense. So he's really going to have to be a focal point if he's going to see that sort of volume. 10 targets a game, I did the math. It's 170 over 17 games. That's not happening. But I can believe that they see him as the wide receiver 1 because there's just no one better.
Maybe recency bias, Denny, but do you see things getting better for the Commander? Not really. I don't see how 2026 is supposed to be a positive year for the Commanders.
No, I think they're going to continue to decline until they hit a point where they have to clean house completely. They have a franchise quarterback, which is really all you need.
Do they?
They do, yeah.
I don't know, man. 4 discrete injuries in 2025.
Really? You think it's like that kind of thing where
this is what I worried about the most. He just seemed like that kind of player waiting to happen. I was very delighted when as a rookie he did not get hurt, but then I just sadly wasn't surprised the second year that he's too small. He's not too short. He is too slight. Man, he's too slight.
We saw him at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and that man is very thin.
He's slight.
When we say small, guys, we don't usually mean, except for with Bryce Young, we don't usually mean short. Okay, people, he's 6'4". Are you 6'4"? No. Also, I'm not an NFL player.
Yeah, please relax.
And I'm 42, and we're not talking about the height. No. So yeah, I can see that, but they're gonna have to ride that out. I mean,
the roster is god awful. They traded picks. They're the dark side of Super Bowl or bust. Convincing yourself and just who cares about the future? We're putting all of our eggs in this basket, and they should have just stayed methodical with their team building, which is the hardest thing to do. You totally understand why they didn't. very easy to say in hindsight too, but the Commanders are a team that should have stayed methodical with their team.
defense is so bad.
I know.
I think that they're years away from actually competing,
And they're back in the NFC Championship game. We'll see what happens. Mike Evans, probably not back in Tampa Bay. That seems to be the early scuttlebutt, Denny. He is expected to return for what will be his 13th season. For the first time in his 13-year career, did not reach 1,000 yards. I'm still shocked. Like, dude, bro, we got to get Emmy 900 yards this week. Like, doesn't matter. Making the playoffs does not matter. Got to get our guy 900 yards. They didn't do it. I'm a little surprised that there's so little buzz for Mike Evans remaining in Tampa Bay. It's clearly been leaked, seemingly from both sides, that he's moving on.
Yeah.
It seems shocking to me, just to be honest. But expected play, not expected to be in Tampa. Ideal Mike Evans landing spot, go.
Bills.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen will cook with Mike Evans. I mean, he will trust him. He'll just throw it up there. Mike down there somewhere will be the offense. And I think it can work. I mean, assuming that Mike Evans has not reached the age where, he's constantly dinged up or suffering these major injuries, although he has already reached that age. I know. I'm going to say his history of soft tissue injuries is like epic at this point.
It is epic.
And so I'm a little, I guess, bearish there, but yeah, I mean, the Bills need someone. Khalil Shakir is a fine underneath target, a gadget guy, whatever guy who can do a lot of yards after the catch stuff, but they don't have a downfield guy. I mean, think about Brandon Cooks was their unquestioned downfield guy in the final 6 games of last season. That's not good. Like you cannot go into next year with that situation, especially with such a good downfield thrower like Josh Allen. So let's get into Buffalo.
Well, I think he's going to get a crazy contract. Like, people are going to be probably shocked. He might get like $25 million for 1 year, I think, because unless it's a cap strapped contending teams. I just think all the big name contending teams are going to want him. I think the Patriots are going to want him. I think the Bills are going to want him. I think the Chiefs are going to want him. I think the Ravens are going to want him. The Denver Broncos might want him. Like, he'd be a pretty good fit there. There's so many teams that kind of just need a better downfield element. Even the Broncos, I think, kind of need a better downfield element at this point. He's so Ravens coded. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
He's like, I do too. I already have nightmares of him on the Chiefs. And like, Mahomes has finally got a guy to hit down, and Evans dropped it again. 82-yard touchdown dropped by Mike Evans.
Yeah. Talk about, in my article that I mentioned earlier, Mahomes was rather unlucky last year. And it mostly had to do with Xavier Worthy converting 33% of his air yards into actual real edible yards. So they got to do something there. Mike Evans would be good.
He's got to be somewhere too. He's not separating the way he used to. With a veteran quarterback willing to pull the trigger in tight window throws, everything just screams Buffalo Bills. He even a better fit than the Chiefs, I think, is the Bills. And that would be. Let's get this trending. Get this trending.
Let me tell you, this is real bad for Baker Mayfield. We're not going to agree on this, and we can talk about it another time. But the metrics for your guy Emeka Egbuka.
First off, he's not my guy. I wasn't in on him at all, and then he was good. I like players who are good immediately. Oh my God, he struggled down the stretch. Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah, right. He lucked into a few touchdowns in week 1 and 2. The metrics are not just like bad. They're abysmal.
Oh my God, not the metrics.
Abysmal. Like, the spreadsheets are like, what's going on with this guy? I'm telling you, it's not good. We'll talk about it another time.
Not good is Travis Hunter. Every report on him is somehow worse than the last. So what do we even advise to dynasty players at this point? So true, to end the show, every report is saying he's going to focus on defense. It's February. Like, one OTA session could change the coaching staff's mind, is what I would say. But right now, today, dynasty stuff goes crazy in the spring because of free agency, then the draft. Do you advise selling low on Travis Hunter, or is it a situation where you gotta see this out? Like, he's never going to be less valuable. You just got to ride this out. If it eventually becomes a useless dynasty asset, so be it. Would you sell low or hold on for dear life with Travis Hunter, Denny?
I would hold on for dear life. There's no point in doing this now. I mean, is it going to be bleak for the next few months? Yeah, it is. It is.
Because ESPN's Mike DeRocco reports he's not even being allowed to have receiver gloves anymore. Well, that seems excessive.
I know. I'm sorry, Mr. DeRocco, please stop. Please stop reporting.
John Shipley, enough. John, listen, we're friends. We've been internet friends for a long time. No more negative Travis Hunter reports.
Right. He's not even allowed to look at Parker Washington. Yeah. But I mean, the team, it's a smart team, I think. And they saw that their offense was pretty dang good after Travis Hunter's injury. And with Parker Washington in a big role. So maybe they just go forward like that.
I think what will ultimately take the day is that they're in a spot where they don't have to make panic moves. Mm-hmm. And if he looks like he's making progress this offseason receiver, they will let him play offense more again. I actually think it's good for the Jags that they don't desperately need Travis Hunter as receiver right now, because it won't be forced in an inorganic way. And it could be like low key the best thing to ever happen for his career, that they don't immediately need him in offense. That's probably a galaxy brain take, but
I can't believe you'd say low key.
I can't believe, by the way, the Zoomer Jags GM, who's from St. Louis, by the way, actually started with the St. Louis Rams. Not a joke. James Gladstone.
Wow. What?
He admitted that he's good.
He might be good. Apparently he is a millennial. I have confirmed that.
Oh, that's right, millennial, not a Zoomer. Sorry,
but not an elder millennial.
No. All right. Us elder millennials are very upset about your lack of spatial awareness. And we're going to keep talking about it.
Look up.
Okay? Yeah, look up, please. And listen, if it's your fault, unfailingly polite Pat is going to say sorry, even if it's not my fault. The least you could do is say sorry back, or no big deal.
My bad.
Give me a glint in your eye. So give me like a flicker. Give me some sense of recognition.
Any humanity will do.
Any humanity will do. That's our new motto.
Yeah.
So for Denny Carter, I'm Patrick Daugherty. Really appreciate you listening. We'll be back on Thursday with Kyle Dvorak.